All right, traders, to watch this video for Monday, February 25th. Real quick, if you're a member of our room and of our trading course, or if you're not a member of either, because I know both groups watch my videos, feel free to reach out if you're struggling. If anyone on the planet understands the difficulties in navigating these waters, it's me. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I more than most probably understand how long the journey takes to where you get to where you're a consistently profitable trader, and I am definitely there. I'm very careful not to use the words mastering trading, because you really do never master it. The markets change, you have to adapt quickly, but you can master your own emotions. So I do feel qualified to give advice because I am pretty much every day at new all-time highs in my trading account, except not counting Friday. I did have my first red day in February. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, so free webinar. We haven't done one of these in a long time. It's coming up Thursday, this week coming up, right? February 28th. We're going to be talking about buying pullbacks when day trading. I'm a big, opening range breakout or morning gap play, breakout on the daily chart. I like those trades. I like the momentum type entries, but I've also created a really nice pullback strategy because when something was ripping in the past, I used to say, well, screw it, I missed it, right? I'm done with that stock, or I'll never trade that stock. And now I've gotten to where I'm like, no, I'm going to look for an intelligent area to get in on a pullback. And so that's what this webinar on Thursday is going to be talking about. I'm going to show you. We're not selling anything Thursday, all right? Now, I will say this. If you have taken our course, you really don't need to come. You're welcome to show up, but there's going to be nothing new. This is stuff that we teach in our course. So this is really meant for people that haven't taken our course. And we're actually just going to be teaching how we buy pullbacks, all right? We're not selling anything. It is literally just free education. And again, it's born out of Wayne and myself really wanting to help people navigate the waters, because there's a lot of sharks out there, and even without the sharks, the market itself can act like a shark, right? And so we want to try to help people navigate it and become better traders, right? It's a great profession, and the more people that get into it, the more people that can have this really nice life. And I don't mean the money, I mean the freedom, the freedom to be your own boss and that sort of stuff. Okay, so all right, there's the SPY, but before I go into that, I'll talk about real quick what my red day on Friday, and I was actually green on the morning until I bought Riot. This is Riot. Loved it, over 80 cents. It had, the previous day's high was 90 cents. I'm sorry, 390. And it was kind of wedging after a big pop on the daily, and I'll show you that in a second. Got long here. And this big flush right here went down to 360. I sold my last big chunk at 362. So I basically bought the top, sold the bottom. And I'll fast forward now to Riot. Let me zoom in a little bit. You'll see why I liked it. I'll take Friday's candle out of it. So you had this tight, kind of tightening wedge pattern. And there's the 390 high. I thought in the morning, if it broke that 380, there was a big seller at 380. Actually, it was right here in the opening 5 minutes. I thought we'd start knocking down these dominoes, right? And it literally did that. So, and then let's fast forward. This is how it closed. Ended up closing at its highest, and I never got involved again. So anyway, had my first red day for the month of, I almost said October, for the month of February. I might have said October earlier. I don't know. I'm losing it. All right, anyway. Let's go to the watch list. Riot is actually, oh, by the way, and that prompted this tweet. That I sent out. All right. I don't know why I'm sharing that. Okay, so back to the SPY. It's still grinding. I mean, I don't think anybody expected from here when it did this to just spend the next, two months grinding all the way back up to where this sell-off started. So very, very impressive strength. Let's go into what I'm watching for Monday. So AQMS Nice volume for the stock, topped out right about 3. Back here, it had trouble with 3. Now, typically, you'd want to see this, form kind of a handle. You got the cup. You could argue that this is the cup and this was the handle, because the handle should be below the highs of what you'd call the left side of the cup. So you could have argued this was the breakout, but the whole number 3 being a possible inflection point. What I'd like to see is a few days sideways or a little pullback like this. Then I would like it more, but it doesn't mean it can't just rip through 3 on Monday. So if we get a low risk setup, I will give that one a shot. ACHV closing well off its highs, traded 68 million shares. So I'm not in love with this one because a lot of people underwater now, but it is worth having on a chart. That's quite the volume spike. CIFS, there was a lot of potential, I don't know how to word this, potential positive talk about China on Friday, the trade talks. And so I kind of think that's why some of the China names ran. And if there's any kind of confirmation or continuation of positive talks on Monday, stuff like this might have a follow-through day. CIFS is one that kind of stood out to me. Just broke out of a real long base and closed actually pretty strong. So XNet tweeted this one out on Friday. I said I'm not a swing trader, but if I was, if I was a swing trader, I might have bought this on Friday before the close because the daily chart looks so good here. But I don't do that. I don't hold overnight. But this is certainly one of my top watches for Monday. You had this spike to 414 here, and then a lower high at 405 on Friday. So through 405, you might knock down this domino and rip. Certainly like it. All right, XNet. Let's see what's that. NIO closed basically almost went out at its highs. 60 Minutes is doing a piece this weekend, so I don't know if it's going to be Sell the News. They're doing a piece on Chinese electric car makers, and I think one of them called this NIO the Tesla killer. And when that started circulating, they really ran this at the end of the day. So maybe a follow-through day on Monday. But oftentimes when you have something coming out on 60 Minutes, the Monday after becomes anticlimactic and you don't get the follow-through. But I do like the chart because like back here, it hit 835. Right here, it hit 821. Then it took both of those out and went to 859. Looked like it was rolling over, and then nice volume on Friday. So over 822, maybe we test this 859. And if you get above that, you kind of have blue skies, right? So certainly worth watching. But keep in mind the potential for the sell the news scenario. Excuse me, I'm choking. The sell the news scenario is always a possibility. IDEX, a pretty nice 2.5-day run, sold off, and next thing you know, it's kind of right back up. I think that one's worth watching. Riot, my nemesis, but I'm putting it on watch anyway because it did top out. It actually went through 4, went to 404. Maybe back through 4 if we have an inflection point type seller there. You might come up and test this 200-day and this recent high right here and maybe break above that. I believe that is just basically directly related to Bitcoin. So literally the last few mornings I've been checking the Bitcoin chart itself because I'm pretty sure that's why Riot and maybe even XNet are both moving lately. OMED had this nice pop back here on good volume for the stock, went up to 97 cents, kind of flagging ever since, hit 93 on Friday. I'm actually going to put in my notes 94 and 98. And then, of course, the whole number $1. Those are potential catalysts. 94 would be a break of Friday's high, and 98, I should say. That was 90. Yeah, I would say 98 would be a break of the high that started this little pop. ZSAN, strongest stock in the whole wide world on Thursday, right? Went from 252 to 665. Much lower volume on Friday. And then a lot of times, or oftentimes, sometimes, however you want to word it, you can get a third day play where sellers come in and next thing you know, it starts right back up to the upside again. So definitely want to watch that one. SPN was on bounce watch after the earnings gap and then a few days lower. Still goes on watch, no trades in it on Friday. EA, again, this is the Apex Legends play, right? The Fortnite killer. Speaking of killers, we had the Tesla killer. This is the Fortnite killer. And since topping out from the buzz that got around about Apex Legends, this has gone down like 5 days in a row now. A little bit of a bottoming tail. Goes back on bounce watch. for Monday, and then a couple more. Solo, electric vehicle maker, had this huge move and is coming down finally into the 8-day and the 200-day from above. Maybe we bounce on that one on Monday. And then FUV, another electric vehicle maker, came down into that buy zone we look for, and a little bit of a bottoming tail. So both of those are on watch. Plus, you've got the 60 minutes electric vehicle. That could spark all electric vehicles, no pun intended there, on Monday. So these are pretty good setups because they've had huge moves. They've come in on lower volume, and maybe that becomes a theme again, the electric thing on Monday. Listen, there's plenty to watch, and we'll add some gappers to this list as well. Again, if you have any questions, if you're a member of our room, if you've taken our trading course, or if you've done neither of those and you just have questions, I really am here to try to help people navigate these waters because it's not as easy as some would tweet becoming a professional day trader. And I'm a big fan of teaching defense first, correct position sizing, entering at the right time, so you should be green right away. I mean, all these things are all born out of all the mistakes I made over the years to get me where I am now. And I'm happy to help people try to get there as well. All right, I am done babbling. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see everybody on Monday.